You know, this is so hard. You don't know how hard it is to preach today. Because all of you actually could come up with a sermon, I'm sure. But my wife's very sick, so she asked very little of me. But I was listening to her talk, and I'm going to tell you, I have not followed the election. I haven't watched most of the debates. I mean, you got to understand, I've been in some kind of transcendent limbo, trying to pinch myself every day, not wanting to get angry, not wanting to be disappointed. And election evening, Tuesday, my wife, it was an afternoon, I was getting ready to go work out. And she said, boy, I like to have some of that, carbonated beverage for this evening. And the devil can get busy in you. And I just said, there ain't no need to have no carbonated beverage, because America gonna be America tomorrow morning, ain't nothing gonna change. And I went on out and was coming home, and I had to stop by the store. We have a Nob Hill in Martinez, and and so I went to Nob Hill, and I went past that aisle where they were selling the, carbonated beverages. And I looked and I kept going. I saw something on sale, but because of my wife's allergy, she can't drink. She got to drink top shelf. You don't know what that. And I was getting ready to go in the counter, and the Lord said, Negro, turn around. And I still lacked faith. I went home, and I had this big gallon milk bottle, and I hid the sparkling beverage behind the milk bottle so Brenda wouldn't see it, because I didn't want her to get disappointed when the ultimate happened, and so on and so forth. And I went on in and started reading something in my room, and she came running out of the living room. She said, honey, John McCain is giving a concession speech. Barak Obama is the 44th president of the United States. So, having been out here in the wine country for 2 years, I went and got the bubbly beverage and got the little towel, and in good Napa Valley fashion, started slowly twisting it. Slow pop. She said, oh, honey, you got me some bubbling beverage. And I was crying while I was pouring, and she was jumping up and down, and she isn't supposed to jump. And my kids went crazy calling me. My enemies called me and celebrated. I mean, and we're talking about being pulled out of the water. So I want you to think about this bubbling water that we were celebrating with, because we're going to talk about Moses. And you see, you cannot understand liberation until you understand Moses. And without Moses, there is no Muhammad. There is no Jesus without Moses. You follow me? In fact, there's no Gandhi or Dr. King without Moses. There's no Cecil Williams and Jesse Jackson without Moses. You follow what I'm saying? You got to understand Moses, because through Moses, God creates a symbol of human liberation, what human liberation is supposed to be about. And I don't care where you're from, what your religion is. You got to get you the book of Exodus and in fact, read the Pentateuch and start understanding Moses, because only when you understand Moses can you get on track with what it means to set the world free. Huh? The world wants to be free. I got emails from Belize. I got emails from Panama. I got emails from Nicaragua. I got emails from Tanzania. I got emails from Zimbabwe. I got an email from my cousin in England. I got emails from South America. I got emails from some folk I know in Haiti saying, now maybe the president that we elected can come back to Haiti now that America has been set free. A leader was born in oppression. His people, slaves. The progress that they had made under their leader Joseph gave evidence that with a little help, you know, when LBJ said, we shall overcome, and they passed the Voting Rights Act, a lot of folk learned in America that with just a little help, black people could catch up. And then we started passing laws to stop us from catching up. I don't know what that was about, but we learned that with a little help, with a little leveling of the playing field, with a little affirmative reparation for centuries of Egyptian oppression, they could make it. Moses was exceptional. Not every Hebrew boy is Moses. Many died in the Nile before Moses was born. Many died in the Nile after he was born. Even while he lived as a prince in the palace of Pharaoh, people were still dying. Little Hebrew boys were still being thrown in the Nile. Last week, actor Will Smith, in a moment of enthusiasm. You know, when we get enthusiastic, we say a lot of crazy things. I said something crazy this morning. You know, your emotions are going and your brain is trying to catch up with them. And he got on the Oprah Winfrey show and he said, now there are no excuses left, unquote. Well, and I had to say this, I love Will Smith. I really love Jada, but I love Will Smith. But I'm glad that we elected President Obama and not President Smith. He's a great actor, but he needs to stick to acting and leave social commentary to those blessed with greater insight. Will, what about your former friends in Philadelphia who are still being thrown into the Nile? What about the boys and girls in San Francisco who are still being thrown into the Nile, or Chicago, or Oakland, or Detroit, or New Orleans, who are still trying to get out of that Nile River? Not everyone. See, you know, sometimes we'll get so enthusiastic, and some people use this as a reason to say, oh, well, he did it, everybody can do it. Well, let me tell you something. Not everyone has the opportunity to go to private schools, be they in Indonesia, Hawaii, Chicago, or Juilliard in New York City. Not everyone has the opportunities necessary to prepare them for Harvard or Hollywood, to prepare them for the White House, to prepare them for their God-presence destiny. And yet, the election of Barak Obama reminds us, and the story of Moses reminds us, that everybody's got a God-presence destiny, and everybody's got the gifts to live out that destiny. If some of us would get out of the way, and some of the rest of us would get in the way and speak on their behalf.